Well, hey, you are watching the video version of the Marketing Should Be Fun podcast. It's so good to have you here. You can find this show on any of your favorite podcast platforms. There's the art, looks like that. You got Apple Podcasts, you got Spotify, you got all the rest. Anywhere you want to find it, you can check it out. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Well, welcome back to Marketing Should Be Fun. My name's Austin Savage, and I'm here with my good friend and business partner, Kelsey Zarko. Kelsey, how are you today?
I hope I remember how to do this. That's how I'm doing today.
I know. It's kind of fun when you just kind of happen to take just a little summer break,
It's all good.
It's all good. And it happens, and it was well worth it.
Yes.
You met one of our clients at a coffee shop today, and I'm curious, what did you get at the coffee shop while you were there?
Oh man, the best thing ever. It's this new coffee shop in our area, and I love it. And they have a Nashville fried chicken biscuit sandwich, and it is so
I thought you were
good.
going to say Nashville fried chicken like latte, and I was going to be like, "Oh my gosh, that's disgusting."
I just got a plain old cold brew with my fried chicken sandwich. Healthy
nice. That actually sounds
all
delicious.
Around. It was so good.
Nice. The other day, I was running late to get to a meeting, and I didn't have time to eat breakfast in the morning. And I always have to eat breakfast in the morning. I stopped at Hardee's for a chicken sandwich, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, I couldn't go. Yeah, no. Just
that. I swear I tasted the chemicals. It was so gross.
Yeah, that's like multiple steps down from McDonald's.
I don't know about that, but the line was much longer at McDonald's than it was at Hardee's. So maybe there's a reason for that.
That might be telling right there.
All right. So let's jump right in. We always love to start our episodes off with a this or that. And we actually have a super fun episode, I feel like, planned for today. So we'll knock this or that out and then see where the conversation takes us,
Okay.
But anyways, I am in charge of this one, apparently. And I always think I know what your answer is going to be. And I'm very curious. But I think we have the same answer on this one. So today's
surprising.
this or that. Spend money or save money?
Oh, spend it. My toxic trait.
Is it?
I like to spend money. It is easier for me to spend money.
Yeah.
But I would say I spend smaller amounts more often. It's a little harder for me to make big purchases.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
I would
fair.
like to save up for that. I'm pretty good at breaking it down and saving for it versus just randomly buying.
Yeah. I used to be a saver. That's how my parents raised me.
Really?
I was a saver.
Yeah.
And I am not anymore.
I know this.
It's so I just love to do things I love. I love to, go to restaurants or try new beers or currently, I've been purchasing new things for my Dungeons and Dragons room at my new house. And it's just so fun. It's so fun. So I think spending money is way more fun than saving money. So.
Yeah. I think it's one of my weaknesses right now is I don't spend as much money on myself, but oh my goodness, I spend so much money on my kids. This time of year, especially, I have to rein it in, all the back to school things. And
that is fun. See, that's another fun thing is that's what Larissa loves to spend money on that stuff too. She'll come home. She's like, I got this new thing for the kids, or I got this new thing for she loves to buy new things for the house too. And I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Make it at home.
That's awesome. Do you see that? I'm genuinely curious in this. Do you see that trait from me as a business owner?
Well, you didn't buy your Remarkable yet, so maybe not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I feel like you make educated purchases and it's not on a whim. So
fair.
Yeah.
So speaking of saving money, I did not actually even plan this, but this actually works super well. Today, we wanted to talk about the tools we use in our business, which for the most part are things we spend money on.
This is true.
So
well done.
I feel like we actually do get questions a lot. And usually it's more on a personal basis, people who are hey, I'm thinking of, starting freelancing or, I think, or in my own business, I'm curious what you guys do.
Yep.
And we get questions a lot about the different tools we use for, different things and what we recommend. And so I figured it would be good for us to just go through them all and have a little resource for people. So that's what we're going to do today. Obviously, we are, kind of a company that is what are we, 2 years old now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Almost.
almost, I know, it's kind of so fun. And so some of these tools, might be less valuable to you if your business is further down the line. But are things that we have found have scaled with us from day one for the most part till now. So top of the list, this is number one for a reason, because it is our brain, is Asana. Kelsey, I'll let you run with this one. What does that do for us?
It is literally like having your brain on a computer screen. It's great. I would call it a project management software. Is that fair to say? Yeah. So this is how we keep all of our tasks organized. It's how we communicate all of our workflows with our team. It's basically where we keep everything so that it doesn't have to live in our head, because scaling doesn't happen if you make everything live in your head.
Totally. Asana literally operates for us as like an employee, basically. Like it is somebody, like it is pulling so much weight in our business. And it's like, for us at this point, if something doesn't make it into Asana, that something does not get done.
It's
and
true.
So it is just so core. But the cool thing I love about Asana is like the workflows that we've been able to develop. And so we have workflows in Asana for like podcasts, for articles, for social posts, like all of these things where it's kind of operated in columns. And when we drag a task or a card over to somebody's column, it automatically assigns it to them. Then they can drag it to the next person in the process. And we don't have to be involved in it more than we need to be. So Asana it comes
golden.
in clutch. Yeah.
Yeah. It saves so much back and forth communication in a good way too. I feel like the communication then that we do as a team is more ideas and relationship and conversation, and less like, hey, this is ready. Hey, this is ready. Hey, do you have this? And so it has just been so good for even our team culture, I feel.
Yeah. We have clients who use other project management softwares. I think we have dabbled in Monday.com is one. Trello is another that we have used a little bit. Are there others that we have played around with?
I don't think those are the main two. I can't think of any other ones.
And we definitely like Asana better. So
yes, for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, Asana, definitely top of our list. And if there was only one tool that we could use moving forward, that would definitely be the one if we had to pick.
Yeah.
Then anything else you want to say on that?
I was just going to say quickly followed. If we were going to have to pick one, I would say quickly followed by the next one we're about to talk about.
Which is,
my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I would say. So the next one is Slack. How do we use that, Kelsey?
Yeah, Slack is how we do most of the communication with our clients. So to me, if, Asana is like a glorified to-do list, but way more than that. Slack is a glorified text message, but without being on your phone, without sharing your phone number. It really is just like a big message board, basically, and you can talk back and forth with people. It's great because you can search in it, so you can put in like a phrase if you need to go back and remember what you talked about. It is so, I love it so much. It just simplifies things and keeps you in like work mode versus when you're on your phone and trying to talk, it can get really messy and just distracted. So I love Slack.
Yeah, I mean, it is so much less stressful than like managing things through email. I think like it's just a lot more fast paced and like you don't have to, it just takes less time, I think, in general.
The interface is much better. I think much easier to read and search and use.
Yeah. This is one we didn't implement Slack until like 6 months probably into our business. And it's definitely one that I wish we would have implemented at the start.
Yeah.
Because,
You're welcome.
It was all your idea. But there definitely were, clients, there are clients who like, we didn't have get on Slack, and this doesn't make sense to at this point. And there's definitely a difference in like, the pace of communication and just kind of the way that operates. So that's been really, really valuable for us. And Slack for us, the way that we use it, we've been able to use it, the free version of it.
Yep.
So that is also a perk that has kind of scaled with us pretty well so far.
Yeah. I would say the comparable version to this would be, what is it called? Google Teams, Google Chat, Google.
Yeah.
My husband has used both, and I think has said Slack is a little bit maybe easier to just function and use, but both of those would kind of serve the same purpose.
Totally. Cool. So we got Asana, we got Slack. The next one that we use, which is a big one for us with contracting, with invoicing, and also for bookkeeping, is a program called 17 Hats. And this is a lot like, really a lot like the way that like QuickBooks will operate for some people. And I know like, what is it, Honeybook or something like that?
Honeybook, and then I think Dubsado maybe too is kind of similar.
So those are kind of some comparable tools that I know that some other people that we know use and enjoy. And 17 Hats has worked really, really well for us. We don't use all of its features. It definitely has some like really great features for people who are in like the photography business or who like do a lot of like scheduling and like, like in-person kind of events as well. But they have a really, really cool system where, people can just easily click a button, pay an invoice. They can click a button and sign a contract virtually. And it just is a very like professional kind of program and is very, very easy to manage. And the other thing that I like about 17 Hats is it gives all of our clients their own client portal. And so if we ever have a client who comes to us and, maybe we've been invoicing them for 2 years total, and they're like, hey, do you have like a record of all of, like the invoices or something that we could see? Like I can just send them directly to their client portal and they can get all of that stuff themselves. And so that is definitely a perk.
Yeah, I think it just keeps everything super clean and, like you said, professional looking. Like when you send the emails, it just is very like aesthetically even just, a step up than a regular email with like an invoice attached or something. So, and honestly, pretty easy to use. I think it's fairly intuitive. So
yeah,
it's very convenient.
I was gonna say that was like one of the first things I feel like I brought you onto like in the tools that we were using. That's awesome. True. So that's what that one is called, 17 Hats. And it, for us, we really use it. I didn't mention this, but that's also where I do all of our bookkeeping as well. So it's connected to our bank and it's keeping track of all of that stuff too. And it's generally comparable. I'd say it's a little more limited than something like QuickBooks, but it is exactly what we need it for. It does a great job. So 17 Hats is what that one's called. This next one I really enjoy, but it is called Loom. And Kelsey, how do we use Loom?
I love Loom. It makes things so much easier. When you're just like, oh, I need to pick up the phone and call somebody because it's just so much easier to explain than texting them. This like does that for you in a way. So basically it's a screen recording tool where you can have something up on your screen and then it has like there's several options, but how we use it is it'll keep you in a little circle at the bottom. And so you can kind of give a video walkthrough or talk something out while they're looking at whatever it is on the screen. Sometimes we'll do this for content calendars and say like, hey, look at July. Here's everything. Here's kind of the thoughts behind it, the strategy behind it. We do this for our proposals where we will pull the proposal up and just walk our, potential client through what's all happening on the screen. And it just gives a great personal feel, but also lets you explain things better without always having to write everything out. Sometimes it's just more effective to use your voice.
Totally. And beyond that too, it's just a great video sharing tool. Like for us too, you can like record a video somewhere else and upload it to Loom, and it allows people to leave comments or, just kind of easily interact with something in a way that, again, kind of feels professional and, they see your branding there and kind of all of that stuff. And so that's been a good tool for us. And like you said, we do send videos along with all of our proposals. It makes it really easy for us to do that, to walk through that in detail. That's a little, quick tip for anybody who does freelancing. That's something that we found very effective, rather than just sending over a proposal, taking the time to walk through it as well without having to hop on a call and, commit an hour or whatever to that. So love it. That one is called Loom. The next ones are in your world, Kelsey. We've got Creator Studio and Buffer are two tools that we use for social scheduling. What does that look like?
Yeah, I feel like as much as I live in Asana, I live in these too. These are basically social media scheduling tools. So Creator Studio is free. It will link to your Facebook, to your Instagram. It's pretty simple to set up. And this just lets you schedule posts. You can even schedule reels now in some capacities there. And then Buffer is the same thing. And there are free options and paid options, and there's different ways you can use it. But that one will also connect to LinkedIn, which is very convenient. So is, as someone who's managing multiple clients, this is a no-brainer, and they're all very reputable, very intuitive, and we would not survive without them.
That is very, very true. Yeah, for one of our clients, we use Later, which is another great social scheduling tool. Yep. But we have found Buffer just to be like very just easy. It's just kind of simple, does, you know, what we need it to. And it like allows you to do different types of posts well. You know, if you're, you know, just doing a text post, for example, or a link post, or, you know, embedding a photo or whatever. For the most part, you know, we are able to do a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff we still have to post natively because that's just the way social is today. But as much as we can, we try to schedule it beforehand. So
and Creator Studio is created from Facebook, like they put it out. So I do feel like a lot of times it connects really well just because it's the same, you know, backside of things happening.
Yeah. So Creator Studio, it is a Facebook tool. So that is something that you can use in that. And Buffer is a separate tool you can use for social scheduling, and both of them are great.
Yep.
So the next one that we have on here is ConvertKit. This is not honestly something that we use a ton just with where we're at in business, but we do use it. So we have, you know, like a ConvertKit is an email software. So it allows you to send marketing emails and different, you know, broadcasts to groups that you have set up. And so we have emails that we'll send out just to our clients. And then we do have, you know, a greater list for just people who follow along with us or who have downloaded the freebie that we have on our website, that kind of stuff. And so ConvertKit is definitely one of the more popular email tools out there. It's done well for us. I feel like it's a very professional, kind of like very reliable tool. Interestingly enough, none of our clients use it though. That's true. With all of our clients, we're sending in either HubSpot, MailChimp, or Flowdesk. And so Flowdesk, I feel like, was the honorable mention I kind of wanted to just throw in here as well. Because I feel like if we started over, I would probably start over in Flowdesk purely because of ease of use. Like it just is especially if you're just starting out and, you know, really don't have that complicated of an email list that, you know, needs to be segmented out to all these different lists, or that you have to create these very complicated workflows or anything like that. Flowdesk is probably the tool that we would actually recommend for you for an email marketing system. And I know you use that as well, Kelsey, in you know, your own personal business.
I've used it, for my own personal business for a couple of years now. And it is just so simple, and it makes everything look really aesthetically pleasing. You can kind of pick whatever vibe you want to go with, but it's just a lot of drag and drop and then enter in. And it's honestly pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Affordable too, especially if, you know, find a friend who already uses it. They usually have a referral code, or you can reach out to me, but they give you lots of different ways to make it even more affordable. And it's just super simple, like you said.
Yeah. Once you get MailChimp and stuff set up with templates and things like that, then it's great. But before that point, it can just be a little complicated and frustrating in getting that stuff set up. And it just is sometimes a little more in depth than people really need, especially as you're starting out. So it's valuable for larger, kind of more complicated systems down the road. But sweet. So that's ConvertKit and Flowdesk are what those are called. And then we wanted to talk about graphic creation as well, and stuff like that. So we do pay for the Adobe Creative Suite, which if you do creative work, you should absolutely pay for the Adobe Creative Suite. And the tools that I'm like personally using in that are Photoshop, because like anytime we're doing graphics or things like that, even, you know, we have some podcast quote templates and stuff that we use for social that I'll use that for. And then we use Adobe Premiere for a lot of video work for our clients. Like if we're, you know, creating a reel from a recent podcast episode or whatever, or editing the podcast episode itself, if it's a video podcast. And then we edit create all of our freebies for our clients and proposals in Adobe InDesign. And then we have a graphic designer on our team who's using more tools than this and all of those things. So we use the Adobe Creative Suite. And I also wanted to say that we also use Canva. And for those of you who are creative, it is totally okay for you to use Canva.
Regardless of what the memes out there say about
Exactly.
Canva not making you a graphic designer. That's true, but it's still really helpful.
It's a great tool. Canva has awesome templates, and you don't need to recreate the wheel every time you create something.
Yep.
And we've found both of those tools very, very effective. So I feel like in one day, I can be making something in Photoshop, but then jump right over to make something in Canva, and both are fine. And a lot of times, like, most people aren't even going to notice the difference. And that's good. So
I see Canva used a lot, especially in like my previous, just different fields with people who have personal brands. That's a great place to start. You don't have to learn how to use Photoshop to, get a brand off the ground, or kind of start to just dabble in creating a little bit of simple graphics for your social, for sure.
Yeah. The other place Canva is awesome with is like YouTube thumbnail templates. Like, they have a lot of really, really cool ones that you can use and kind of repurpose to make something that looks, very modern and kind of up to date without having to like do all of the stuff yourself. So that's another place that I found value in it as well. Cool. So that is the Adobe Creative Suite, and Canva is what that tool is called. And then we, for our website currently is on Squarespace. We do work though in Squarespace and WordPress, and we have built sites for our clients on both Squarespace and WordPress. And really, our perspective is, as you are getting started, it is totally fine for you to have a site on a place like Squarespace. It is going to take a lot of, thinking out for you, and definitely makes it easy to manage and get something, up off the ground. I think I designed our like original version of our website in like 2 days, maybe. Crazy. Just like getting it out there. And it's very, very easy to do that. WordPress is definitely a tool though that we also are planning to scale our site into at some point, and do work for our clients, because it does offer a lot more customization, a lot more things that you can do to just help your organization scale to the level that you're wanting it to scale to.
I definitely see the creativity, and just, we've created some really cool websites for clients on WordPress and Squarespace too. My website, like my personal one, is also on WordPress, but I did not design that, and it was worth every penny to let someone else. So there's that too.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So those are Squarespace and WordPress, what those ones are called. The next two, we have Buzzsprout, and Buzzsprout is where almost all of our podcasts that we manage, and this podcast, it's where they are hosted. And so if you want to launch a podcast, you have to have a podcast host, and Buzzsprout is definitely always going to be our recommendation. They are a very modern platform, and they host a lot of shows. They're very reputable as well. And they make it really, really easy to have multiple shows. And that's something that I really like about them, is that we can switch between client shows, very, very seamlessly. And they just have just a very like modern kind of interface there.
It's also very easy to use. I mean, you taught me to use it in like one Zoom call, and I made a few notes, and super simple.
Yeah, they're walking you through everything. They have a great onboarding process. And I know that they're great too. If you currently use a different podcast host, they're great about helping you migrate over to their platform as well. And they have a lot of cool stuff. So Buzzsprout is an awesome podcast host that we enjoy. We do have clients who use Libsyn as well. And it's another great tool. Definitely like very different interface than Buzzsprout, but they, are definitely the top two for a reason. There. The last tool we wanted to talk about was Google Drive. Good old fashioned Google Drive.
Keeping it classic.
And it has been a great tool for us, I feel like. Kelsey, how do we kind of organize Drive for our clients?
Yeah. We also, along with this one, should talk about Google Sheets. So just thought of that too. But I would say, Google Drive and Google Sheets, they're both just simple because most people know how to use them. So you're not having to teach a whole new like platform or way to get into something. It's just, most people get Google these days. They've taken over the world. So Google Drive is where each client we have a folder for each client. And within that, we have places where they can share photos, documents, audio files and video files for their podcast, all things like that. So it just makes a really simple central place where they're putting things in, we're getting things out, or vice versa. And it stays very organized, very clean and easy to use, super simple. We also use similarly Google Sheets to send mostly social content. So we'll use that to communicate, like, here is the post copy, here is the link to the graphic that will go with this post, or the video or the reel. And again, we could have tried to have them log into Creator Studio and look at things previewed that way, but it's just Google Sheets, again, is simpler. Everyone can understand how to use it, and it's just very user friendly. So we use that constantly, weekly, all the time.
Yeah. It keeps us from, people accidentally like causing an error or something, or accidentally like deleting something after it's been, finished or anything like that. And just makes a lot of sense there. So that's another tool that is very valuable and rather inexpensive when it comes down to it for you to use. So that is our sort of lengthy list, maybe not that lengthy, of all of the tools that we are using every single week in our business. And hopefully that helps you or gives you some ideas of ways that you could use some of those or some of your current tools maybe differently to, add some value to you as well.
Cool. Well, there is our list. Hopefully you get some new ideas and fresh inspiration. But I think I would just leave you with, don't try to keep it all in your head. Don't be afraid to, use a new system or try a new tool, because it really will be able to let you scale and just reach new goals and new ways you can serve your clients better. And all around, it will just be a super valuable investment of your time and your money.
I love it. We love to spend money. So that's
bringing it back around, land the plane.
Yes. All right. We will see you right back here on the next episode of Marketing Should Be Fun.